behind the camera. So we just bought the Sprinter van about a month ago and down in Orange County, California. Now we're currently in Oregon. We recently just added these all-terrain tires. They're really great and meaty. And they drive great on the highway, had no issues. We just want to show you a little bit of what we've done before coming here. And so as you can see, we first did all the installation. So we did, behind here, what you can't see is we have some rigid foam, and then we spray foamed the outside to kind of stick it in there, and then we layered this Reflectix on top, and then we put the tape right here to seal it all up. Nice clean finish. So we did all of the ceiling, the sides, even the doors. So as you can see right here, you can see where the rigid foam was, you can see all this spray foam, and then the Reflectix on top. And then we were able to do the flooring, which came out really nice. And we did this Pergo Outlast, and it's supposed to be scratch guard because we have a dog. So we got this bed off Craigslist. It's an Ikea bed. And we just added these 2x4s. They're about 39 inches high. And we added these 90-degree brackets to keep it stable. And then we're just gonna add the slats and pop this into the van. And we'll see how it turns out.
So we bought some of these self-drilling screws here that we're going to be putting in through this 2x4. I pre-drilled a hole in here, and this basically just screws in, and this will lock this 2x4 into the side of the van. So put this in here. Takes a moment once you get through that wood, and it'll work its way into the van, pre-drill, and then it'll snug up. So that's in there now. It's nice and secured. What we're doing here is making a cardboard template. So the van walls are not straight, and so we'll have to use this template to help us cut out the side of the wardrobe, and so that'll be able to fit in here and snug up against the wall. So we got the wardrobe cut up there, used the jigsaw to cut that, and then I got some 1/8 inch plywood from Home Depot, cut that out to the back, and screwed that in probably in about, I don't know, 30-40 screws, so that should hold up.
Oh, I'm just making the template for the wood paneling out of Safeway bags.
Want to show me what we've been building over the past few hours?
Oh, we just did this bench that'll swivel up. I have to touch this part. And we'll store batteries and everything in here. And then just slap the cushion on top and we'll be able to eat.
We've got the paneling all cut out. We did put a coat of clear coat on each of these pieces. We are going to be screwing these into the bulkhead, which the bulkhead's about 1 inch thick of wood, so that'll come out real nice. So when we bought our van, it came with this fan already in the top, and this is the one that comes with all the Sprinters that were previously FedEx vans. Just a really basic fan, obviously not very powerful, so we're just gonna cut around this fan here, because this fan is quite small. I think you can see my marks around there, which is a 14x14. We'll just plop our new fan in that exact same spot. Just installed the Max Air fan, checked out the wires, it all works good, and comes with the remote control. So luckily Hunter helped.
I did help. I helped. Did science.
We've got our two 100-watt Renogy solar panels up here. We'll be wiring them and putting the wire down through a hole near the fan. And we're actually going to be using VHB tape to stick these solar panels to the roof. We decided to go with this VHB tape, and so we don't have to drill 16 holes into the top of the van. Just make sure you prep the surface with the alcohol before you put the tape on, so it'll stick a little bit better. We got the solar panels mounted using our VHB tape. Just draw some Sharpie marks on there. Lined them up. And now Hunter's going to drill some holes through the van.
It's gonna be sweet.
So Hunter is feeding our solar wire through a couple holes. We put some Eternabond RV roof tape over the holes instead of using a grommet, and that'll keep it a nice tight seal, and then we'll put some silicone around that as well. One thing we agreed upon is putting in some hooks on the ceiling to hang our hammocks. So the van actually came with these tie-down hooks mounted into the floor, so I pulled those out, got some 3-inch long bolts, and bolted these into the ribs of the ceiling, and I think these will hold up, and they'll be collapsible as well. I've got the material for the ceiling here, and I have penciled out the roof vent, and also going to put 4 lights. Some over there. I'm going to be drilling, I think this is 2 1/8. So we're drilling holes, and we have some really shallow depth LED lights to be putting in that. We got 6 of these flush mounted LEDs that hardly stick out at all. They push inside of here, clip in there, and then they have this little cover that just tilts right on there. So they're 200 lumens a piece. We've got our first ceiling panel all screwed in. We used some 3/4 inch self-drilling screws. We've got our second roof panel all screwed in now. It's looking really nice. Just gonna do these 2 lights over the bed, and then that hammock hook over there, which is nice because that one can actually fold up and clear the wood panel. Well, we finally got all the wiring hooked up, thanks to my friend Hunter for helping out on that. We've got our voltmeter here, which is hooked up to a switch, and then we've got our 2 light switches here, one for the back and one for the front. So that'll be nice to have those on some separate switches. Got some wood paneling cut up and screwed into these back doors. That did come out real nice, and they do shut with no issue. My girlfriend sanded down this kitchen cabinet, which is looking really nice. Just went with the basic latch system here, so won't have an issue with the doors flying up and while we're driving. Also just screwed this panel up on the wall, just so we can put some backsplash of the kitchen. So they don't, within these Sprinter vans, they don't have much area here to be bolting stuff in, especially with the large optional windows. So going with something like this is ideal. It's where you do have something you can screw some material into. Went to Ikea a couple days ago and searched for a countertop for the van. We ended up getting this Jerton tabletop. It's a solid wood. It's almost as thick as the countertop would be, and it was pretty affordable. I think it was about $90 or so. It's solid wood, and it's got these rails in it, but they can come out with just a screwdriver, and then we'll be cutting a hole somewhere on the side of this for the sink that we just bought. So I need to make a straight cut for the countertop, but I don't have access to a table saw, so I'm actually using this yardstick here. I measured out equal lengths, drew a line there, and then I found out the difference with the blade coming across, so I can run the saw all the way down next to this yardstick, and that should give me a pretty straight line. So that's a little trick you can just use with any circular saw.
So we put in the sink into our nice butcher block counter that we got from Ikea, and we got this sink off Amazon. We started by cutting a 14 by 14 hole, and we recessed the sink in, and then on the back it just has these clamps, and then you just tighten it with the screw to make sure that it's flush.
To mount the wardrobe to the wall, we just use these self-tapping screws and put them into the back of this thin plywood backing. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure if it'll hold up, but if it doesn't, we'll reinforce it with something a little bit thicker. I also plan on bolting it to the floor, so that should hold it up a little bit better as well.
So we're doing our side panel installation, and in order to have a nice clean finish and have it be flush between the two boards, we added this board behind here so we could screw this board into the wall, so when we go to put our two panels together right next to each other, in order to be flush, we need to be able to screw it to this wood panel, and that's why we have this right here. And we were just able to screw right along the whole way for this panel. And then we're gonna do the same on this panel and just join these two edges together. And as we were cutting, obviously didn't have such a straight cut. So now we're just gonna add this trim piece anyways to kind of hide that and have a nice clean finish.
We've got the countertop mounted onto our cabinets using some liquid nails. And we also used some liquid nails to mount this backsplash as well. We used some silicone around the sides just so water wouldn't get in between that crack. Also put in this little soap dispenser. We got a little strainer down there, a little basket, and then we went with the hand pump. So don't have that hook up to the water yet, but that should probably work for our needs. We recently finished building this 3-lid chest that'll be next to the bed. It takes up the perfect amount of space that we have next to our full-size bed. So we built it out of 1/2-inch plywood, screwed it all together. It's got 3 lids across it, 3 separate containers in here, and we'll be using these, I think, for clothes storage. It's also, we built it just high enough to where I could put my laptop up there and watch movies with our back against that wall. So it should work really nicely and offers a ton of extra storage in here. We picked up some cedar fencing from Home Depot and we cut it to size for this wall behind the kitchen, and we just screwed these in to this 1/4-inch backing that we put on. And we're making these screws evenly aligned up the way, all the way to the ceiling.
We've been using mineral oil on our wood, especially in the kitchen, because it's food safe and it just adds a protecting layer for the wood. And we've been putting it all over this counter as well as our backsplash, just to give it a nice luster. And as you can see, when I put it over the wood, it brings out that green and really makes this wood look really nice. We just finished installing our sliding doors. We put in 2 1/2-inch pieces of plywood to make the 2 doors and put in a 1-inch wide U-channel on the top and the bottom. They're both screwed in through the floor and through the bed frame. And there's actually a cutout right here that you can see, so we can actually have our wiring feed into a battery bank. And these slide over like this. It's a little stuck right now because we haven't put any beeswax to make it a smooth transition. And we actually got these handles and reclaimed them from a man who is redoing his kitchen. So here's our kitchen shelf with all our kitchen goodies. The way we did this, we wanted it to be level, so we had to add these little slivers, as you can see right here. And then we just screwed it in through the wood and into the metal frame of the van. So it's pretty sturdy, as you can see. And yeah, it's looking good. Can't wait to start cooking. Thank you so much for watching our van build video. We are so excited to convert this FedEx van into a camper van that we call home. We did it within 3 months while working full-time jobs, and now we've been living in it full-time for 4 months, and we're really excited to show you our ventures to come. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and see our social media links below.